I don't want to freak you out, but right now, there's radio waves passing right through you. You are in fact bathed in Wi-Fi. But there's a whole range of companies all around the world that right now are experimenting with using Wi-Fi to see through walls, which sounds very sci-fi. But exactly how does it work? Good news, we have people that are smart that will tell you. Ariel Bogle is a technology journalist that you can see right across the ABC, and Peter Marc is with Access Informatics. He's a volunteer with GovHack. He develops technology. Explain to me the principle, right? Just how does this technology work?
Well, as you say, we are now bathed in Wi-Fi, and some people are worried about this.
Doesn't get you clean though. I've tried.
Well, no, and we're bathed in all sorts of RF, including cell towers and things. But every house now has Wi-Fi. It's amazing if you drive around with a Wi-Fi scanner, you just see a Wi-Fi network per house. It's something that 10 years ago maybe we just did not have at all. So it turns out that the Wi-Fi, which is on 2.4 and 5 gigahertz, covers your whole house, and as humans walk around in that space, we distort the waves, we distort that RF, and it's possible to pick that up outside the house. Now, a team at the University of California, Santa Barbara, a beautiful campus, by the way, just as an aside, they've done some work, and they're using, instead of high-tech equipment, they're just using a mobile phone, and what they've shown is you don't get an image of the people inside the house, but you can definitely tell that someone's there. So you could sit outside someone's house with a telephone using the Wi-Fi in there and see sort of vague shapes of people moving around, and therefore work out if someone is at home or not, which, if that's an end of privacy, well, that is an end of privacy.
Sure it is. So what we're talking about, Ariel, is not I'm going to hold up my iPad to a house and see X-rays a la CSI, am I?
No, you do need the right...
Well, screw it, I'm out.
You do need the right equipment, and there are limitations to this technique. I think one thing they have to find out, they describe in the study, is where the Wi-Fi is to be able to measure the waves as they move through the house, get reflected, bounce off things, and then find whether somebody is walking through. So, I mean, in the study, they sort of describe walking around the house with their scanners to find sort of the hot spot. If you can imagine.
Is it like a Geiger counter? Or
you can imagine like everything in the house, in the way they talk about it, is transparent except for this glowing orb of the Wi-Fi transmitter, so.
Which is how we think about Wi-Fi in my house.
And that's a precious thing.
Please protect it at all costs.
I'd usually turn it off and on once in a while. So it's a very interesting technique, allowing people to look through walls and around corners using just Wi-Fi, and it's kind of such an intriguing mental image to me, at least, to think about those waves moving through the house, bouncing and moving, and all the information they could share. Because, at this point it's a prototype. They're looking at how it could be used, but one can imagine, as the technology improves, of how to find these waves, that you could tell how tall is the person, what is their body shape, are they likely to be a child, all these sort of clues about who's inside a house. Obviously, as Peter mentioned...
It could be used for good, but it could be used for evil.
What is the good? I guess you could, in a disaster zone...
I can't quite think of the good, because in a disaster you have to assume the Wi-Fi is dead. But I mean, has anybody prototyped like a visual interface for this, where you can actually see a map? And
I've seen some screenshots, and this particular one, the UCSB one, is just a blur. It just looks like a grey map, and you can apparently see people moving around in it.
Yeah.
But there are other techniques. We're using more advanced equipment where you do actually see around the corner, and I mean that's really scary. But that's specialised equipment that is using sort of holographic techniques. So this one is just a very simplified version. I think the point of this one is that it's just cheap hardware can do it.
I love how you skip past the holographic part, as though somehow I will not find that super interesting.
Oh, well, no.
Tell me more about the holograms, Peter Marc.
You're refracting the wave, so you are refracting RF, which is rather like light, and you are then trying to reconstruct the object from those refractions, and that's really how holograms work. They re-refract the laser light again, so you see a 3D image.
You have satisfied my hologram interest. Thank you very much, Peter Marc. All right, there is lots more of this in the podcast. Download this show. If you happen to be near a computer, head along to the ABC News YouTube channel. Find more of these videos. Firstly, watch them, but then leave a comment underneath. We're taking suggestions for other topics you'd like to hear on Download This Show, which I do feel compelled to point out is a podcast. You can get it on any good podcasting app. We've got lots more to listen to across the rest of the program. And with that, I will leave you. Have a great week. Bye.